Hi, this is Tom Anderson with Blackfish, and today I'm going to be showing a tutorial on the Common Core State Standards app that we developed in conjunction with the Center for Hands-on Learning. So the Common Core State Standards app is a nice reference with all of the Common Core standards. Teachers can use it to find all of the standards, search through them, things like that, but also has nice tools that you can use for teaching. So let's say, for example, you're a second grade teacher. You can click on second grade and go to the second grade standards. You can also set that as your default so that every time it starts up, it always starts in second grade standards. And once it comes up, you can go into the math standards or the English standards. One thing I'll point out here is that you can also see here some very nice things that you could put into your classroom. So for example, they have nice math and English language arts posters that you can buy and put up. They look great in a classroom. You can buy those directly from the Center for Hands-on Learning, or you could also buy a physical big book, again, which is a great reference. So before I go into the standards themselves, I'm going to point out a few things. In options, here we set it to grade 2. You can set it back to all the grades, or you could change grades, depending on where you want the app to start. You can, when you're searching, set it to search only for the grade that you're set at, or you could have it, if you check here, search results for all the different grades. And then you can also set flags for each standard as you're going through and teaching them. And you can customize what you want those flags to be. You can also set a roster, and so for example, let's add some students. Tom Anderson, that's me. Bill Anderson is my brother. We'll just make up another name. Alright, so once you've created a roster, then you'll have access to those students when you're making notes in the standards. So let's go home. So here we're in the second grade standards, and we could go into the math or English language arts. We'll go into math. Here's the different categories for second level, second grade math standards. So we'll go into operations and algebraic thinking. And then here you can see the different standards. So use addition and subtraction within 100 to solve 1- and 2-step word problems. And so this is one of the first standards for second grade math. You could come in and, if it's a little bit longer, you can scroll through it. So you can go in and as you're teaching it, you can set your flags, which is a nice feature, and then you could take notes. So you could say, for example, started teaching on 10/3, whatever. And you could take whatever notes that you want. So here, a note for Tom Anderson. I put this in earlier, completed the standard. Bill Anderson, we'll put a note for him. We'll say he's completed it as well. And then John Smith suggests that more work is needed. So you can put whatever notes you want, for each student. You can come in and, flag them. They've learned it. Still need to work on it with John. And then save the notes. You can always come back in and adjust them later. You can also email and put a nice reference for all of your notes. So it gives the standard, the notes that you've taken for the standard as a whole, and then the notes for each student. So it's just a nice kind of reference to be able to save your notes and report what you've already done. Each standard also has hands-on kits from the Center for Hands-on Learning, so you can come in and see great kits that administrations themselves can buy. So you can buy kits for entire classrooms for the entire school, and then we also have for each standard references online that you can use. And so each standard has its own set of references, and if you have reference and content that you want to share with us, you can send that to us so we can add it in as well. Okay, so now we've taken those notes for that standard per student. Then you can also come in and you can search. So let's say, for example, you want to search for fractions. I typed that in earlier. Fractions start in 3rd grade. Here's the standard. Understand a fraction is a number on the number line. Represent fractions on the number line diagram. You can start to understand them 1/b, for example. You can type in anything in the standard. So you can type in period. So in 7th grade, you can compare and contrast a fictional portrayal of a time, place, or character, historical account. So there's talking about a time period. Here it's talking about in high school mathematical periods. So you can use the search to find out, search through, easily kind of find what you want. You can also go through and list any standards where you've taken notes. You can list any standards that you've taken created flags on them. And then you can also then come in, and this is a neat feature. So for Tom Anderson, you can create a report, and what it does is it'll go through and list all the standards that you've taken notes for that student, and then it'll give you the notes. So you can create a nice report, and then you can email it to yourself as well. So it's a great tool there. So in general, it's a very nice reference with some nice tools for teachers. In our next video, I'm going to show one other nice feature. You can come in and you can create your own content, whether you're a teacher creating a lesson plan, creating an assignment for students, or students that create a report and want to turn it into teachers. And so a student can go home, for example, create a report or create a creative story or fictional story, and then create a code. You can enter that code and then reference it.